everyone. I hope you can hear me. Guys, welcome to Monday Night Lives. All right. Now, oddly enough, this is something that should have started last week. And it's one of the reasons why I'll explain why it didn't start week. But welcome to Monday Night Lives. And it is something that's going to happen every single Monday from now until sometime in December. All right. So essentially, this episode is our episode 0. The official start of Monday Night Lives will really be next week. And this is essentially to let you learners out there, you success parents out there, have an idea of what to expect for the new academic year. It's going to start in a bit, right? Have an idea of what to expect for the new academic year, as well as how we're going to help you all prepare for CXC 2026, 2027, and probably even 2028. Yes, we could be preparing for those years from now because it's really a preparation game. All right. And again, this is for all you exam candidates, it's for all you learners out there, and it is for the success parents out there. And if you've never heard me talk about the learners or the success parents, please stick around to the channel and you'll understand exactly what kind of person is a learner or a success parent. All right, so let me introduce myself. I am the person behind CSBS Learning. You see me on social media as CSB in Success. My name is Chanelle. I call myself a language success coach. And why do I say coach? It's because I will guide, teach, as well as tutor my learners to success. And the subjects that I specialize in are CSEC English A, CSEC Spanish, as well as CAPE Communication Studies. And you'll see me kind of make a face for CAPE Communication Studies because it's that type of subject. Actually, it's a subject I teach only because I feel so infinitely sympathetic and empathetic with all the students who have to write that subject. So let me just give you some more information about me because again I've actually not been on this channel for quite some time due to a number of reasons. However, education wise, my background is in Spanish and in languages. So my major is in Spanish. I graduated from the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus. My minor is in linguistics. If you've never heard of linguistics, it is the scientific study of all languages. And I normally use my practical knowledge of linguistics and all the that particular side of language learning has given me such a very practical approach to the not just the study of English as well as foreign languages, but to the retention and the assimilation of the skills that you need for those subjects. Because it's not just English you're doing, it's not just talking in Spanish you're doing or talking in French, because the information I give does apply to French as well as Portuguese. Spanish, French, and Portuguese are under the same syllabus. But it's really for these particular subjects because you have to be able to produce the language skills for these subjects, right? In terms of actually coaching or teaching, I've been doing it for October 1st is going to be 8 years since I've been doing any coaching or teaching. I absolutely love assisting persons who are seeking to learn more. So I normally say that in my classes, what is going to put you in good standing is just being able to, oh, hi, is just being able to, can I do this? Oh, sorry, guys. Just being able to respond to your questions, respond to your work, because I always talk about feedback. I'm seeing Lucas saying hi. Hi, Lucas. I won't be able to look at the comments all the time, but trust me, if you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments and I will definitely take a look at it and answer. All right. So what we're going to do for this academic year, I already gave you a preview. We're going to start off with Monday Night Live. And the Monday Night Lives are actually going to give you some insight into some topics for each of the three subjects I teach. So I'm actually going to start with English next week, which is the 18th, and then I'm going to go to Spanish on the 25th, and then I'll give the Cape Com students some love by the 1st of September, right? So we will have more information on that, and of course, each week I'll let you know exactly what's happening. I'm actually going to discuss topics. However, if it is you have topics that are certain concepts that you'd like me to explore or talk about in this format, feel free to leave a comment. I'll put up a particular post asking for comments so I can track it even faster. All right. So that's going to be happening. If you're used to my channel, you'll have seen me talk about tutor thoughts. It's probably something that the success parents appreciate even more. Or if you're a very mature student, you might like it. So Tutor Talks is going to come back from next Saturday. So you're going to see those episodes out on Saturdays, just giving you a bit more direct advice and feedback. Because honestly, what I do here with CSBS Learning, this particular YouTube channel, is give you freemium content. And I call it freemium content because trust me, the same thing that I'm telling you here, it's the same thing I tell my actual learners in our classes, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's group classes, I tell them the exact same thing. And sometimes it's just a little bit of knowledge that you do need to make everything flow and just click. Sometimes you just need a bit of knowledge. So this platform exists to reach out to as many students in the Caribbean who they're just missing some of the little secrets that no one has really shared with them. Or in some cases, I will admit this, that teachers think you should just already know, right? When I first started teaching, one of the skills, I'll say skills, that I thought was easy was multiple choice for CSEC English A. And then I had students who are readers say, hey, miss, I hate that paper. I don't get what's happening. And I was like, oh, isn't that an easy paper? So sometimes a teacher just thinks, oh, this is easy, which is unfair, I know, because the teacher already knows, right? But when I decided to seriously become a coach, I realized, I needed to listen to students. And sometimes you just need a little bit of information. And that's what the freemium is about. And yes, I'll be doing mostly lives this term because my schedule is really busy. However, there are a few topics I may just do actual videos, like some of the videos you see on my channel. I do have to finish the breakdown of the rubric for CSEC for CSEC Spanish. And again, if it is you are a student of French or Portuguese, the exact same rubric, the exact same mark scheme, so you can actually follow it just to get the advice, okay? It will give you some insight. And knowledge is something that once you have good knowledge, good information, it's definitely beneficial. All right. So that's where you'll see me post most of my stuff. If you want to find me, I'm mentioning this because I also post freemium content, not just on YouTube. It goes on my Instagram and it goes on my Facebook. Right. If you are on Instagram and you're not seeing me on Instagram much right now, it's because for a while I did not have a smartphone. I had a semi-smart aged phone. I called him Grandpa Elliot. So he could not do Instagram. Instagram was way too much for him. So you'll see me there much more. And again, if you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like me to review, you can make your suggestions there. All right. Hi, Levi. Levi says hi. I see you're new. Let me see, Lucas. So hello. I'm glad to have you here, subscribed and as a learner. Hi, Lucas. Lucas says, what's the subject of the direct? Is that for English or is that for Spanish? Because I actually did a class with a student this weekend and she said, Miss, I just want to know what direct object pronouns are for Spanish. That's my main thing. All right. So what I've been speaking about would be all my freemium content. I do teach classes as well. Those are going to be pretty limited. Actually, I had a class that was supposed to start yesterday, and if you hear my voice sounding a bit scratchy, it's because I had a really bad cold and had a cough that lasted like about 3 weeks. It's actually now going away. So because of that, I postponed my live from last week. I really was supposed to start this last week. I had to postpone my class. I had to postpone my class. So essentially what I'm doing is, for those ideally, for those of you guys who are preparing for exams next year, you could be preparing for 2027, but this is going to be even more beneficial for those of you who are preparing for 2026. I am focusing on a topic for English A only. Sorry, Spanish and Cape Coms people. I'll let you know what's going to happen for you guys in a bit. But I'm essentially preparing for helping you guys prepare for exams next year by looking at specifically the paper two questions, because you know those paper two questions are not nice, right? Especially because unfortunately in English, it seems that we don't practice to write. We don't. I don't know why, but we don't practice to write for English. I'm shocked every time because Spanish students suffer, but they know they have to practice, the questions that come for paper two. English students, most of them, when I meet English learners, it's like, I'm writing again this week, miss. Yes, you're writing again. Hi, Garvin. Nice to meet you. I hope you're subscribed and a learner as well. Okay, please don't be afraid to subscribe. And of course, all of you guys who are here, please do share the channel to someone who is in need of this premium content. All right. So for those of you who are interested in getting premium access to me teaching you directly, I had some people say they were looking to get in contact with me. Again, Facebook, IG, YouTube, just look for CSB Success. What I'm doing premium wise is I'm focusing each month, beginning from September, on a specific question from paper two. All right. So we're doing short story in September. October is going to be argumentative. November into December is going to be informative, right? Informative. I had to shift that a little bit. And summary, I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to do summary. Summary actually went already. So depending on demand, I may do summary in January, but that depends on demand and what everyone says. What I am doing in January will be what I call crush course. So crush course will be essentially focusing on just exam papers, because trust me, you just need to be practicing for the exam. You need to practice your writing and get feedback. So what happens if you decide to join these courses? Again, they're not mandatory. This is only if you think you need feedback. Again, feedback. If you've never heard me say it before, you will hear it a lot. Feedback is king, right? Your writing is not going to improve if you don't have feedback, right? It's not. You need feedback. You need to know what you're doing right, and you need to know what you're doing not so right in order to have a better time or a better performance, better results with that English paper. So in terms of the classes that I'm doing this year at the very least, and this actually, classes that I'm doing this year, if it is that you want to get your feedback weekly, you can sign up to be a top learner. Top learners will get your feedback weekly. It's of course a different price. You'll see me post that information later on this week, because I just had to make some amendments to it, especially as I was not at my best this month. But with the top learners, you're going to do assignments every week, right? We do assignments in class. I do give some feedback in class, but the top learners would actually have something to do every week, and I would give you that feedback every single week. And I give very detailed love notes. I call my feedback love notes. My love notes are very, very detailed, very, very specific. I think if you could say I have a God-given talent as a coach, it's to look at the writing and try to distinguish. I do discern your personality and what you're good at and what you may have some issues with very, very, very quickly. So those who are top learners, they really get to really ramp up the type of feedback they get, especially because with the school system, feedback is not always doable, right? And for top learners, I'm only taking 10. I'm only taking 10. So if you sign up, if everybody signs up in September and you're going for all of the courses, then you're pretty much lucky. I'm not taking more than that so that I can give you that attention. Now, if you don't want to be a top learner, and some persons don't like it because one, the school term would start and you might have a heavier workload, you may not need all of that feedback. For some people, you're okay. You just want a little more attention. It really depends. You have to know your learning style as well. But if you're just looking at the monthly assessment, that's a max learner. I think that's also very ideal. And with a monthly assessment, again, very, very affordable. You are going to get an assessment at the end of the month. And with this assessment, I'm going to mark you and let you know what your grade is. And I'm marking you as per the CSEC rubric, right? I'm not making up something that I created. I'm using what CXC gave. So it's not going to be some sort of imaginary assessment. I'm also not going to give you marks because I think I like you and you're a nice person. I like your name. You send me compliments. You give me, you make great jokes in class and I like your jokes. No, I'm just going to mark you exactly as is. Any of my past learners will let you know I'm going to mark you exactly as is because you want your actual mark. You don't want a buttered up mark that gives you a false sense of awareness for the exam. And listen, I've had students, most of the time it's a buttered up mark. So the student thinks, hey, I'm an A and they might be a B or a C. But it can also happen where the teacher, let me not just say teacher, but you may be marked where you think you're a B or the C, but you're really an A or a B, right? I've also seen that happen as well. So I mark very exactly. So those are the things that are coming out. How do you get more information? You're going to get more information by sticking around to the channel. Again, you'll see CSBS Learning is active on YouTube. Not so much on the other platforms because it's way too much work. I'll be honest, it's a little too much for me. But you would definitely be able to get in contact with me and see information once you follow CSB and Success on Instagram as well as Facebook. And this is episode 0. That's a short episode, well, a short-ish episode. I'm actually really excited for this academic year. I really do enjoy helping you learners. I want you guys to not just do well in the subjects I teach, but I want you to do well in all your subjects. I was looking at some comments on the channel and I saw someone said that my advice could apply to any subject, and that's accurate. It could literally apply to any subject. It may not apply specifically to English or Spanish or Cape Comps, and it's because I just want all students across the Caribbean to succeed at whatever you're doing, whatever you're focusing on, and to understand that yes, we're looking at success in the exam, but you are bigger than the exam, and your value is greater than the exam. The exam is just one of the stepping stones in life for you to achieve more, do more, and be more. All right. So that is it. I don't think I see any more questions. I have a few interesting things that are coming out this year, especially when we get closer to my 8th anniversary, which I have to make sure can happen. But if it does, of course, I will let you guys know. And you will be able to get that information. There's a website that's going to come out with some sign up information and some other information as well, if you want more details, that should be coming live before the end of the week as well, so you can reach out to me. Hi Rex, Trinidad, and yes, I am Trin Begonian. So yes, but specifically from Trinidad. Yeah, specifically from Trinidad. All right. And in Trinidad, today is World Steel Pan Day. One of the things that I used to do a lot of was play pan. So I'm wearing my pan jersey, like a vintage pan jersey here. All right. Okay. So I don't think I see any more questions. All right. So those of you who are here and made it to the live, thank you so much. For those success learners as well as success parents who are tuning in to the replay, hey, nice having you here. For all of you who are here, please ensure that you are subscribed to the channel, CSBS Learning. And of course, you can look out for me at CSB Success on Instagram and Facebook. Same. All right. So you guys have a great day. And of course, I'm just gonna leave with a mantra that I normally leave for some of my students, and it's I am succeeding, I am successful, I know myself, I love myself. Take care. Bye bye.